Good morning. I'm going to be reading Lulu's Getting a Sister. We're going to pick up on chapters 5 and 6 today, okay? Chapter 5. After Call Me Debbie had shown off and sent off the little kids, she handed on a list to each SIT, a list of sisterly tips that would help to she assured them of a wondrous, life-expanding time at Camp Sisterhood. Lulu went back to her cabin where, before curling up with her favorite vampire book, she impatiently looked over the sisterly tip list. Tip number 1. Never forget that you're here to get yourself used to having a little brother or sister. Treat the boy or girl you've been assigned to as if he or she really is your brother or sister. Try to find things to love no matter how hard it is to find them about your little brother or little sister. And always try to remember that there are things he or she finds hard to love about you. What kinds of things, Lulu wondered, would a little brother or sister possibly find hard to love about her? She couldn't think of any, not a one. Tip number 2. Try to choose activities that you and your younger siblings will both enjoy. If these involve competing with each other, like racing or board games, be nice and let her or him win some of the time. This tip made no sense to Lulu, who wondered how, if she was competing, she could be nice, especially because it was hard enough for her to be nice when she wasn't competing. Tip number 3. When your younger sibling is making a birdhouse or bookmark in arts and crafts or figuring out a clue in a scavenger hunt, you need to be patient. Let him or her make mistakes or take a long time or say, "I can't do this," before you gently, kindly offer to help. No rolling of eyes, no heavy sighs, and you're never allowed to say, "You messed up again," or "How dumb can you get?" Or, if there were tears, "Wah, wah, big crybaby." So what exactly, Lulu wondered, are you supposed to say when the dumb crybaby messes up again? Tip number 4. There will be no biting, scratching, kicking, hair pulling, foot stomping, punching, poking, or pinching. Even if your younger sibling bites or scratches or kicks you, or pulls your hair or stomps on your feet, or gives you a punch or a poke or a pinch or whatever. Instead, you'll explain to her or to him that we at Camp Sisterhood deeply believe in nonviolence and that not one is ever permitted to hurt someone else. And when we're mad or sad and really want to zap somebody, we use respectful, sisterly words instead. Lulu completely agreed that we ought to use words whenever we're feeling mad or sad, but first, a zap. Tip number 5. Perhaps the hardest problem a big sister has to face is sharing with a younger sister or brother. Sharing a room, sharing dessert, a certain game, certain toys. In addition, because they can't help it, a younger brother or sister will take and mess around with your stuff that is only yours, completely yours. So unless you really love sharing, which you probably don't, though it would be great if you did, you need to find a firm but pleasant way to tell your sibling, "That's yours. This is mine." To which we suggest you sweetly add, "And if you want to use mine, you must ask my permission," rather than a not so sweet, "Keep your grubby hands off my stuff or else." Lulu had no intention of letting anyone's grubby hands get anywhere near her stuff. After she'd finished reading, Lulu put down the sisterly tips and gave some serious thought to tip number 5. It talked about sharing stuff, but what it didn't talk about was sharing not just stuff, but your mom and your dad. Sharing your mom and dad with another person, a person who will become your actual sibling, a sibling whose actual mom and dad are also your mom and dad, a sibling who will now expect to receive from your mom and dad as much love, time, attention, and goodies as you get. This was a nightmare. There was no way Lulu was sharing her mom or her dad or even her goldfish with anybody. So if all these nicey nice tips were supposed to make her actually happy to have a sister, this definitely was not going to happen. There'd be no finding things to love or enjoying or kindly and gently. There'd be no patiently waiting, no offers to help. In fact, if they were giving a prize for the worst SIT in the history of Camp Sisterhood, Lulu was determined to do her utterly, totally Luluist best to win. Chapter 6. The morning after Lulu arrived, having passed an uncomfortable night talking herself out of needing to go to the bathroom, the sisters in training began with a bang. Each SIT was assigned her own little sister or brother to be with for 4 hours a day, 6 days a week, on either a morning or an afternoon shift. And just in case you're wondering, yes, I've done the arithmetic right. It's 40 kids for 80 SITs. because if you're paying attention, you'll see that each of these sisters in training gets a kid for only half a day. And regarding Lulu's question that if you truly couldn't stand the kid you were given, could you exchange him or her for somebody else? The answer is no. Also, in case you're wondering, the sisters in training never practice on babies or on brothers or sisters under 5. The reason for this, which you'll need to ask your mom and dad to explain, has something to do with something called insurance. And no, once again to Lulu, who once again is asking the question, if you truly hated the kid, could you trade her in? Like the baby your mom will be bringing home, your approval doesn't matter. You and the kid are together for the duration. During this duration, they were told, each SIT and her kid will engage in many kinds of outdoor and indoor activities, in the course of which the SITs will learn to treat their little brothers and sisters with niceness and kindness and sweetness and sibling love. The SITs also were warned, however, that they were bound to be a few problems along the way and be prepared for some disappointing behaviors. Because even the dearest and sweetest of children will sometimes do what they shouldn't and get on your nerves. Hey, what a shock. And even the nicest of SITs will sometimes lose their patience and get annoyed. Who would have thought? But there's nothing you need to worry about. The SITs were assured, since a parent would always be lurking in the background, keeping his or her eye on things, but never interfering unless something really bad was about to occur. So who decides? Asks Lulu. Before she went off with the kid she'd been given, who decides when something's about to get bad? I guess we'll find out, the kid answered, even though Lulu wasn't asking her. But now I want to tell you all about me. So that's her little kid she's assigned to. And chapter 7 looks a little bit long, so I'm going to save that for my next video, and I'll do 7 and 8. Bye, guys.